Hi everybody, welcome back to Fox's Best Laid Plans. Today I'm going to be doing some memory keeping. Well, it's already done. The memory keeping is done. I'm going to be showing you some memory keeping. So today I'm going to take you on a flip through of my December daily from 2020. You may be thinking, but it's the first week of September. Why are we looking at December daily in the first week of September? Because, so this video should go up on Monday the 6th, or maybe Tuesday the 7th. I haven't decided which day, but either way, it's gonna go up on Monday or Tuesday. The December daily kits for 2021 go on sale on Thursday the 9th at 10 a.m. So set yourself an alarm for like 9:58 and get ready to log on. If you're unfamiliar with December daily, it is a memory keeping, scrapbooking. I've talked about it in some of my vlogs, and definitely in Vlogmas, I think. It's through Ali Edwards. I do Ali Edwards Stories by the Month kits as well. It's a monthly subscription service for scrapbooking, and the December daily is to record the memories of December. So this is going to get a little heavy at times because if you're new to this channel, hi, welcome. My name is Fox, and I am a planner person, and I am also a scrapbooker. I'm a runner and a weird goth kid. So I do talk a lot about mental health. I do talk about grief. Those are typical topics on my channel. They are a little bit heightened right now because about 2 weeks ago, we lost my dad. He had small cell lung cancer. He fought it for about a year. We had a wonderful, wonderful year with him from between diagnosis and when he actually passed. So in December of 2020, we didn't know how long we had with him, and I just decided regardless I was going to treat it like it was his last December so that we could spend a lot of time with them. And I'm so glad that we did, because it did end up being the last December we had with him and the last Christmas we had with him. So this will be a little bit like heavier than you would maybe expect. I don't think it'll be too heavy, but just a warning if I get emotional while I'm filming this. I haven't looked through this since he passed. The last time I looked through it was actually with him a few weeks ago, or I guess about a month ago before he passed. So that's the disclaimer before going into this, is that this may get a little bit emotional because of that. But I'm going to do a flip through of my entire month of December 2020 for my December daily for Ali Edwards. And this will give you an idea if you were like, if it would be something you'd be interested in, just kind of see what the kits look like. So I bought 2 kits. I bought the 2020 kit, and then I bought some like leftover stuff that they had previously. I want to say it was 2019. So there's more than just 1 year's kit worth of stuff in here. This was the 2020 binder that they had. So Ali Edwards binders, if you're not familiar with her stuff at all, they are all these 6-ring binders. They're like really sturdy and nice. This is a thick situation. Like this is, I mean, it's very thick. It's about as thick as you can get without it being a problem. So yeah, that's the other things. As you can see, like it's kind of on the edge, like when these kind of are starting to open, so you just have to turn the pages a little bit carefully. But I go above and beyond. Like I have a hard time when I'm scrapbooking narrowing it down to just like one photo for each event or whatever. So I have a lot of days that are multiple pages, obviously. So with that being said, let's begin the flip through of my December daily from the year 2020, the strangest December I think I've ever had. So December 2020, if you forget living through it, it should still be fresh in your memory. The pandemic was raging by the end of the month. So the beginning of the month situations were very different than end of the month situations, because the beginning of the month, like things were still open, and then around, I want to say around like the 11th or 12th, at least here in Pittsburgh, I live in Pittsburgh, we went into like a more restrictive phase, like not a full lockdown, but like dining out was canceled, like certain indoor things. So we really weren't doing a ton of those anyway, but yeah, it became like, there were like 2 parts of the month, like the beginning part where things were like maybe a little bit normal, and then the end part where things were very scary, and like we were just like, let's either do outdoor things or stay home. So here's my cover page, December 2020. This was actually taken in November, this picture. This is from the night that we decorated the tree. My family, we always do the day after Thanksgiving, we go and get our tree set it up, and then on Saturday after Thanksgiving, that's when we actually decorated. So my parents always come over, and that's our Layla Grace. I hope the lighting is okay. It's kind of hard because these are plastic sleeves. So if you're not familiar with the Ali Edwards setup, they are plastic sleeves, but you'll see I have some things that are out of the sleeves as well. So I'm hoping there's not too much of a glare, trying to get the lighting. And because I do have some things that are like bright and some things that are dark, I'm hoping the lighting is okay, but just my first time filming a memory keeping from an Ali Edwards thing, so I'm trying to get the lighting right, and you know how that goes. So I got these stickers, these number one, we have where's the number two. These were the numbers that I used. There's a bunch of different options for those. There's like some bigger ones, there's different colors. I covered up a couple of things because it's related to work, and I didn't want to reveal where I work. I try to keep that off the channel. So I am a pharmacist. We talk about that, but I don't say where I work. So if you see things that are covered up, that's all it is. So December 1st, we had our first snowfall, which was pretty exciting. And then I had decorated our front window at work. So that's what this was. And then you'll get these journaling cards. So that's a big part of it. So all of these journaling cards, I think all of the ones that I use in here are just December daily. I may have pulled some other ones, but I think they're all just December daily. You get a ton of journaling cards. So there's typical sizes. So there's the 4x6, this is the 4x6 journaling card. And then these are 3x4, these slots. When it's the four spread, those are 3x4. So 4x6 for these, and then 3x4 for these. So we did a number of advent calendars. So we did the Aldi cheese advent, which I highly recommend. We're gonna try to get it again this year. So I have my This Sparks Joy, and then these are like letters. You get the like alphabet kits. You get several letters. I think you get 3 of each letter. So I did advent for this. And then Layla Grace had an advent calendar. Layla Grace is our little tiny pit bull. She just turned 6 years old, and so we always get her the Woofers advent calendar. They're really, really nice. And then we also did, so this is actually, it's an advent calendar that my mom sewed for me when I was like a baby, when I was little, and it has little pockets. And when I was a kid, like my parents would make like, actually they're still in there, I refuse to take it out. They would make me little scavenger hunts like a couple times a month, and then they'd put little chocolates in it, and I have one of those scavenger hunt clues, like the first clue saved in there, because whenever I took it out of storage to use it for our wine advent is what we use it for now. So what we do is the end of November, we select 25 wines from our catalog. We use Cellar Tracker to catalog our wines, and so we choose 25, and then I like wrote them out on the little cards and then put them in here, and then every day we pulled one out, and that's the wine that we had that night. So, but it's the Santa is something that my mom made when I was a kid. So that was December 1st. December 2nd was a very stressful day, and it's one of the things that's neat about doing these is that it makes you think, like, I probably, like in a regular world, would not have done a scrapbook spread for this day, because it was like work was really stressful. I was so tired. I was supposed to go to do my groceries the next day, and I just didn't have the motivation to do my meal plan. Like, that's not the kind of day I use the Bah Humbug here. That's not the kind of day that you would typically scrapbook about. But because you're doing every single day, then you're forced to be like, well, what was the good thing that day? So the good thing was that I did this Beachbody workout it was a Shanti. It's like this old dance video of his. I don't know what year it's from, but it's called House Your Body. And one of the, like, he tells you what each move you're going to do as you're learning the choreography, and one was called Salsa and Chips, and I was like, really, this is hilarious. So it makes you like think about finding something good in each day. So I really like that about it. So I did find a couple of good things. And then this was actually here, these were just 2 of the journaling cards. They also have like journaling cards that don't actually have any like words on them. They're just like decoration to add. And so what I ended up doing was this was from my Instagram stories. I just had a screenshot of an Instagram story because I really didn't take very many photos that day. December 3rd, I am a volunteer at our local shelter here. I walk dogs, and we had some of the most amazing little babies. So this is Joe. Look how cute he is. And this is Theseus. Theseus is coming. Just prepare yourself. More of him will be seen. But it was like beautiful sunrise at the shelter that morning. I got a nice picture of Joe with the sunrise. So this is Henry. He was adorable and just wanted to be held the whole time. And this is little Grant looking out of the window. I thought that was so cute. So those are my dogs for the day. And then this night we actually went out to dinner. So we were not, until we were both vaccinated, and even like a little bit past then, we were not going out to dinner unless it was outdoor dining. But This is Miracle. It's a pop-up bar that happens every year in Pittsburgh, and it's all Christmas themed, as you can see. And they had the outdoor igloos, and so it was like a private igloo that you could rent for your party, and you would be, so it was just the two of us there, and it was like really nice. They had a Bluetooth speaker so you could play your own Christmas music. Like, it was just really nice. And then so that we did go in with masks on to like tell the people that we were there. So I took some pictures from the inside, and these are our cocktails that we had. It was such a special night because we hadn't been going out to eat, and this is the first time we went out to eat because we were at this private igloo, and like we wore masks when our server came in, and they wore a mask, so it felt like very safe, and like, I don't know, it's just a wonderful night. So I have pictures of the menus here, another cocktail, and then pictures of us in the igloo with the lights. It was a little bit chilly, so that's why we still have like sweaters and stuff on. So that is the end of the 3rd. On December 4th, it was, I said, busy day. I did these little like individual letters again, actually in 2 places here. I don't think that's supposed to be that crooked, but maybe it was, I don't know. I also walk dogs. So when I walk dogs, I do a 7 on and 6 off rotation at work. So I have 7 days that I work, and then I have 6 days off. So on my 6th day off, I always walk dogs on Thursdays and Fridays. So there's always going to be 2 back-to-back dog days. So somebody made this like public art on one of the routes that we walk, and it's like a bathtub that was made into mashed potatoes. Like, art of mashed potatoes. So another beautiful morning sunrise. So I took all the dogs to sit and pose with the mashed potatoes. So this is, I just said busy day, and I have like my list of I had a bunch of errands to run, and I have a list of all those things on there. So this is this is out of the sleeves. So, that's the 5th already. Okay. So this spread is just the 4th here. So, but this is nice. I like to, when I do these, I like to have a little bit, like something every so often, have something out of the sleeves just to give it a little bit of different texture and character. So on the back of this, I did my journaling about December 5th. December 5th is Repeal Day. If you're not familiar with that, that's whenever the Prohibition Amendment was repealed. So we always try to have like a gin cocktail on Repeal Day. Since we weren't going out to eat, we were doing takeout cocktails in Pennsylvania until the summer. Don't get me started. That's a whole other situation, why we're not doing them anymore. But so for Repeal Day, we went and got that. So before we had dinner, we went for a walk, and we wanted to see all the holiday lights in our neighborhood. So this is from like the main street where we live, and then these are like neighbors down the street from us, like a street over. And so I had made this salmon with kale and sweet potatoes for lunch. It was like super good. We made the salmon in the air fryer. It was like chef's kiss. And then at night we had our cheese of the month. So there's a place in Pittsburgh that does a cheese of the month subscription. So you get 2 pounds of cheese, 4 different cheeses, half a pound each, once a month. And so we've been members of that for years. So we always do one day of the month, we do a cheese and charcuterie board. So that was that night. And then we got to-go cocktails. I feel like we got something else. We might have gotten like soft pretzels or something from Siempre Algo, where one of our friends is the bar manager there. And so that was our gin drink, and it came in like a little mason jar to go. And so that was our Repeal Day drink. So the 6th, I was also off on the 6th because this was my off rotation. Yeah, so I was in the middle of my off rotation, and this is the day, so I was emotionally drained all day, and I don't know why. My anxiety was bad, so we ended up watching Shaun of the Dead. I made my to-do list in the morning, had a hard time sticking to it, and then that night we had our virtual TGIO party for National Novel Writing Month. I don't think I have a picture of that now. And so I like that this like forced me to journal about the days that were like not the best. Like all we did today was I worked on my to-do list, and we watched Shaun of the Dead for like the 400th time, but like it was fine. So we still recorded those memories. So then on the 7th, I was back. I picked up a shift at the shelter, and I was back to walking my shelter puppies. And so this is Seymour. Seymour was a senior puppy dog. He got adopted. This is Wiggles, and Wiggles had like no fur when she came to us, and her fur started to grow back. And as I mentioned, my baby boy Theseus, I just loved him. He was just like, there he is giving me a kiss. We went for a long walk and went to the park together, had a lovely time. And there's this like deer statue that we take the dogs to visit, and they're all like, that's a huge dog, what is that? So I got this like hilarious picture of him, and then we just sat on a bench and snuggled a little bit. It wasn't too cold that day, so he got adopted shortly after that. Yay! So also on December 7th, this was Cultivate Your Year Live, and I happen to be off work for it. So I do the Cultivate What Matters power sheets every year for goal setting. And so it was like a conference that you could go to in, I think, North Carolina, and it was virtual in 2020. so I was able to attend it, and it was really good. It helps you get through all of your prep work for the year. You get through like the bulk of that in that day, rather than like having to go at your own pace and like space it out. I really, really enjoyed it. So I have like, came with my power sheets, this tag here, and then I just have some pictures from my power sheets as I was working on them, and a screenshot of it was like an online course that you watched. So December 8th, I said it was a day of ups and downs. Oh, okay. Yeah, so December 8th, day of ups and downs. One of my coworkers had a potential COVID exposure, so we were all like being super paranoid and very extra cautious, and like it was a very stressful time, and that was like still whatever. It wasn't super easy to get testing, and nobody had symptoms, so it was hard to get a test. It was very just like a lot. So I did like a little card here of the things that we did that day. We were watching the Heaven's Gate docu-series. I was like obsessed with Heaven's Gate, that cult in the 90s when I was a kid, and so there was a docu-series. I highly recommend it if you're like interested in that kind of stuff. It was really, really well made, and we finished watching it that night, and then we had all this construction going on our street, and like it was a whole thing. I'm not going to go into it here, but what was supposed to be like a month-long job of construction on our street took almost 9 months. It was a hot-ass mess. So, and then we had gotten this like mystery wine that our friends Gail and Dave had won at a raffle, and they gave one of them to us because they had won like 5 of them. And so we were like, we're not going to open it. So what we did was not unwrap it. I mean, we opened it. We decided to open it and try to guess what type of wine it was. And it was Syrah. It was really, really good. But we tried to like blind guess what it was. I don't think either of us got it, but it was still fun. So then I put all the mystery wine, Heaven's Gate docu-series, construction, anxiety, and then we did our holiday card photo shoot that night, starring Miss Layla Grace. So this is another thing that is out of the sleeves here. It's just a loose. So you get with the kit, you get these big I think these are, they're not 6x8, are they? They must be 6x8, but it's just because they're in here instead of like this little thing here. So you do get these big size cards as well. So this is our actual, what our holiday card was. So I put that, a copy of that on here. But these are some of the outtakes. So we did like season's eatings, and we had her like pose with all this different food. And she just like, I don't know if the color is going to show up on here on the video, but she's got her eyes closed, and she was just like so happy. Like, oh, I'm sitting in all this food. I love it. So the next day was one of the last chances to do any indoor things. I am a member at Phipps Conservatory, which is our local botanical garden, and they do an amazing winter show every year, and it goes until January, but it was open. You just had to wear a mask the entire time. So we did go to that. We got matching reindeer masks, which I thought was really cute, and it was just beautiful. Every year it's so beautiful. I really loved it. And we had like found out that day that we were going to be entering this more restrictive phase, and I was like so grateful that we got our tickets when we did, because honestly, like we always go at night. This runs until like I think 11 p.m. whenever it runs. Like normally the gardens are open till 5. They're like 9 to 5, but this is open till late. So we always choose a time when it's not going to be crowded anyway. So like we really didn't have anybody around us, so it didn't feel like scary. But I was so glad we got to do that, because then the shutdown started, or not shutdown, it wasn't actually a full shutdown, but like there was restrictions on indoor situations. So, and then I just love this. I have a balsam fir Christmas tree. Is that what it's called? The ones that they advertise on Hallmark all the time. I think it's Balsam Hill. I have a Balsam Hill tree, and I actually have it up year round. I decorate it for different seasons now because it helps my depression to have a beautiful tree lit up when I go to bed at night. But I just love the way that like she was sitting right by it, and it just like the lighting just caught her face there like so perfectly. It says pausing to enjoy this. So you'll see I have these like stickers throughout, like the stars are in the kits, and then this says favorite things. There are little kits that will give you just words like you are magic. I had like in the beginning the pictures of the windows. I had before and after. Ooh, let's not go to bed. So you get all those like sticker sheets, and you can use those wherever, just like as an embellishment. So the next day, this is kind of a bummer. We were supposed to go to this with my parents, but because my coworker had that possible COVID exposure, we thought it wasn't a good idea to be in a car with them. So we went to see the zoo lights. This was new this year. The Pittsburgh Zoo did a light festival, and it was just a drive-through, so you didn't actually get out of your car. You could get out of your car to buy snacks, but we didn't end up doing that. But it was just like really, so this was the 10th. So we went and did the drive-thru, but it was kind of a bummer because my parents were supposed to go with us, and we decided not to do it because we didn't want to put my dad at further risk, just in case. So it was really, really very pretty, and we listened to holiday music the whole time. But the other thing was we did stop and we got pizza from this place that we love called Threadbare Cider, and they have a pizza oven there too. So we got takeout pizza. We came home and we're like, what the hell is going on? And this construction worker came out. I think I have a picture of it here now. This construction worker came out and was like, I have to escort, where are you going? And we're like, we're trying to get to our house. They made us park like 2 blocks away. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, I have to escort you to your house. Like, what? It turns out that there was an unmarked gas line on our street. So when they were doing this construction, they didn't know there was this extra gas line and they hid it. And apparently it like blew out the window of their bulldozer that they were using. Yeah, crazy. Our neighbor had talked to them during the day and gotten the whole scoop and told us, but they like had to escort us, and it just smelled like gas, and they were working like loudly until after midnight that night, and they got it all cleared up, and they had the gas company here, and it was a whole production. So we sat and ate our pizza, our takeout pizza, while we were listening to the loud construction sounds. It was kind of scary, and I was like honestly thinking that maybe we should get a hotel room for the night because I didn't know, but they said it was under control by the time we got home. So the 11th was that magical day when you had a 60-degree December day. Does everybody love that? Because I like get so excited about that when you have that one random day where it's like 60 degrees and you're like, ah. So I was on my work rotation. So after work, normally we go to light up night, which is in November. It's the Friday before Thanksgiving, and that's when they light all the Christmas trees downtown, and then they have like music, and then we go, just walk around and go to different bars and get dinner, and like just wonderful. And then they have fireworks at the end. I just love it. Like I'm obsessed with it. We go every year. Well, they obviously didn't have that this year, but they still did all the tree lightings downtown, and so we decided to go and see everything. So this is the skating rink at PPG Place. We call this the Horns tree. This used to be the Horns building. It's now, I think, Highmark or something. But the tree is on the edge of the building, and it was the Horns building, so we still call it that. This is in Market Square. It's this lighting display, and they'll do like animated lights and music. And then I love this picture. We were trying to take a selfie, but we were standing in front of these. PPG Place is like all glass buildings. It's very spooky. I think I have a picture of it in here. Yeah. It's very spooky and looks like, at night it looks like something out of Batman or something. So we were taking this picture, and I realized like we could see our reflection, so I took a picture of our reflection of us taking the selfie, and it says treasuring the moments with you. So I thought that turned out really cute. And then they do the big giant tree is at the city county building, and they have these little ornaments that are all the different neighborhoods. There's 84 neighborhoods, I think, in Pittsburgh. So I couldn't find the one that we actually live in, but this one here is our weather station, where our closest weather station is located. So it says, hey, that's our weather station. And then my favorite thing that we saw that night was we used to have this big Kaufman's downtown, and then it became a Macy's, and now it's closed. But they have the Kaufman's clock is like the most famous one of the most famous Pittsburgh landmarks. And so they would always unveil these beautiful windows every year, and you could go and look at the Christmas windows, and that would be part of Light Up Night too. So because that's not there anymore, they recreated 2 different windows, one from the 1920s, which is just gorgeous. I just love this dress. And then the most exciting one was they did this one from 1989 that I actually saw in person, and it was all these bears doing the Nutcracker. And I was like nerding out because I was like, oh, I saw this in person when I was a little kid. Like, it was so exciting. And it was bears, and I love animals, so yeah. So, moving on to the next day. So on December 12th, we went to the Holiday Laser Show at North Park. This was a new thing that they did this year. Another thing that like, you stayed in your own car, it was outside, good times. You could bring your dogs. That's a silhouette of Layla Grace right there. Here's some pictures from the laser show, and then they had music set to it. It was really good. So I have the program from the night just pasted in here onto this card, and then I have some more pictures here. I just loved it. It actually rained up until we went in, and so the rain stopped, but there were like these beautiful spooky clouds. So I got some good photos of the lasers, and I got this like creepy one here. So that was a lot of fun. So that was in the middle of my work week. So in the middle of my 7-day stretch, I have a Sunday off. So I work 4 days, have Sunday off, and then I work 3 days. So it's like 7 out of 8 days. And so I had a very productive day off. I did my workout. Layla Grace helped me with the laundry. I don't know if you can see her little face in here under this blanket, but that was all the laundry that I worked through. Filmed my plan with me, and then I got my new laptop. I got a new laptop in December that's like more geared towards video editing and photo editing and everything. So I got that started to set up, and there's my, from the plan with me. There's a screenshot from my plan with me that I did that day. Plan with me and somewhat lengthy discussion of the Heaven's Gate cult. So this is part of Vlogmas. So for Vlogmas, I was doing every Monday I was still doing a plan with me as part of my Vlogmas video. On the 14th, so I had to have some major dental work done in December. So the 14th was the final day before the dental work began. And so I was like super, super anxious. So I didn't know what I would be able to eat or not eat. So we made tacos. I wish I actually had a picture of that. I don't know why I didn't take a picture. We had taco night that night. And then we watched this Christmas movie. I love Hallmark movies. I like watch them every night in December, or from November and December basically. So we watched Christmas Comes Twice. It was super cute. I really, really loved this. And there's pictures of Layla, and that was all. Just kind of working through my anxiety that day. So the 15th was the day of the, ooh, my numbers came off. I have to re-glue those. The 15th was the day of my actual dental surgery. I had to have a root canal and some cavities, and I really have bad dental pain. Like I have very sensitive teeth, so they did the sedation dentistry, and it was, if you have been on my channel for a while watching vlogs, you know about my dental drama. So, but this was the day of the surgery. Procedure wasn't terrible, but I felt horrible after. I had so many complications. I had to have dental work redone. I ended up having to get Invisalign because they like moved my teeth. It was just a fucking disaster. But this was the day, bah humbug. This was me at the dental office, and then this is Layla Grace, Nurse Layla, reading my discharge paperwork about my instructions about what to do. So the next day I was back to work. My partner switched with me at work, so I had this day off to go to the surgery, and then I was back to work on the 16th, and I felt terrible. I like couldn't eat anything. Like my pain was so bad. It was just a really big mess. So then it snowed like 8 inches on the drive, like right before the drive home from work. So like this is our street, and it was just like completely covered, and it took me like over an hour to get home. Like such a mess. But this is my Balsam Hill tree that I was talking about, how I had it decorated for Christmas. So that made me happy. That was my little happy thing. And I did like a Peloton stretching video because I just didn't have any energy or strength to do anything else. The next day was the 17th, and you can see I have a little mini card here that says a busy day, and then I have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 card. This is a common theme in Allie Edwards. She'll do like, this is the story of today, and then like numbers. So I was supposed to walk dogs that day, but I was having so much pain. I like couldn't even focus to go and do that from the dental visit. So then Layla had her vet appointment. She had to have a cystocentesis because she was having UTIs, and they didn't know why. So they had to do this special procedure to like check her bladder, and it was very dramatic. That's her face that she made. She was like, "Excuse me, mother, where are we going?" And then I did do a workout that day, and then I got my cards read. I got them read by someone I follow on Instagram who does them. She's actually in the planner community as well. And so she did my Wheel of the Year for me. So that was pretty neat. And then we got takeout, and then we watched another Hallmark movie. We watched Christmas Everlasting, which I fucking loved that one too. That was super, super good. And then here's Layla Grace watching the movie with us. And here she is with these. And then this was the perfect for December in a pandemic, staying indoors. And then that was the night we had all that snow, so I went out and measured it, and here you can see there's the ruler. So the snow, I think, actually hit. The big snow was this was Wednesday night, I remember this. This was the Wednesday night, and so then this was Thursday, and this was Thursday night. I went out and measured it. Yeah, we had over 8 inches of snow, and this is our backyard. This was the next morning. I went and walked dogs, and we had a lot of dogs. So here are all the dogs that I walked. And then I have, on the other side of this, 12 pictures of Layla that I took that day. Yes, I took 12 pictures of Layla in a single day. And I took 12 dog photos in a single day. You love it. These are almost the same, but they're different. This is Jax. I freaking loved him. I was obsessed with him. He was so cute. Such cute. I guess there are duplicates. So there's 2 of Jack's. I guess I didn't actually walk 12 dogs because I have duplicates, so it's not actually 12 dogs. So these 2 are Jack's, these 2 are Conan, these 2 are Mackie. These I have actually 4 of Buck because he was posing very cutely, and then these 2 are Zeus number 2. We had 2 Zeuses at that time. So these were the dogs that I walked that morning, and it was snowy, and some of the dogs love snow, and some of the dogs are like, fuck that, I hate it. So here's pictures of Layla Grace, just looking adorable and also panicked and trying to drive a car, just perfect. So I did a lot of journaling about that day because we had a very long and busy day. The other thing that happened that day is that husband's company, instead of doing their typical holiday party out at a restaurant like they normally do, they did an online murder mystery, and he ended up being the murderer. He had to play like all the managers played characters, and then everybody else was like solving the mystery, and it turned out that he had to be the murderer. So this is another one like out of the sleeves, and I just kind of did like lettering for the things that we did that day. So that night we went over to stay at my parents' house. There's my dad with Layla Grace, so cute. And my mom had bought these gingerbread reindeer because in Hallmark movies they're always making gingerbread, right? They're always doing like a gingerbread house or whatever the fuck, a gingerbread nation, like an entire gingerbread neighborhood, very elaborate, you know. So she's like, well, let's do these reindeer. How hard could it be? So, oh, and then I have this as my candles that I burn every morning. It just says Simple Joys. So it was really hard. That's the story. It was really hard to do these reindeer, but we got them done. They look pretty cute. I think they look pretty nice. My mom's looks better than mine, but you know, she's got the skills that I don't have. She's always, anytime we do arts and crafts, her stuff looks like flawless and my stuff looks like not that good. But anyway, I love this picture. So my mom and I were posing with it. My dad came in the back and photobombed, and that was his personality, like so perfectly. Like I love this picture. Like this is a horrible picture of me. My face is still all swollen from the fucking dental work. And that night, like part of one of the fillings that they did, like just fell out while I was eating. It was like I was in really bad shape. But I just adore this picture because my dad's sense of humor is like so perfect of it, and that just like, I just love it. It makes me really happy and a little bit emotional. So we stayed overnight at their house. We did watch a Hallmark movie that night too. It was really, really cute. I can't remember what it was called, but it was based on a true story. It was really cute. And then it was still snowy in the morning. So this is their backyard, just beautiful. Their backyard looks so beautiful in snow or ice. And then this is my dad's maple tree. He planted this like the year after they bought that house. They had that house built. They had owned the property and then had this house built on it. And I want to say that was like 1984, because I think I was like a year and a half old. And then here's Layla Grace on the couch there under this. This is another blanket that my mom made, this blanket, when I was a kid. So every year we do a pierogi day where we make dozens and dozens and dozens of pierogies. And it's usually me, my mom, my grandma, my aunt, my dad, husband, and then sometimes my cousins come, sometimes they don't. And this year, since we weren't getting together with my grandma's 96, well, she was 95 at the time, she's 96 now. We didn't feel safe getting together everybody, so just the 4 of us made the pierogi, so we carried on the tradition. So again, I love this. Just, I don't know, so glad that we got to do this. We didn't make quite as many pierogies as we normally do because it was just the 4 of us. And then came home and watched a Hallmark movie. Here's Layla and me snuggling and watching the movie. And here she is being a perfect angel. So you can see the different sizes too, like the different, so here we have like, this is the 12 by 12 spread. So 12 by 12, they're all 2 by 2 inch photos, squares. And then you have, this is a 4 by 6 and 4 by 6. These are like standard photo size. Then you have the ones that have 1 4 by 6 and 2 3 by 4s. They did put out, there's one, what's the one that's the usual one? For the December daily, they put out both. I think the standard one is this one with the 4 by 6 on the bottom and the 3 by 4s on the top. But December daily last year, they also put out, you can see I have one of them here, with the top being the 4 by 6 and the bottom being the 3 by 4s, and that's the only time that they put that out. So I'm hoping they do that again, and I'm gonna stock up because I love having like a spread where you would have like one with the 4 by 6 on the top and the other one with 4 by 6 on the bottom. Like I know I can't have a spread like that in here somewhere. I'll try to point it out if I come to it. But that was only the one with it on the bottom. No, the one with it on the top was only for the December daily kit. So. My perfect angel. And then these are the 6x8 ones. So this is a full page sleeve. So then on the 20th, today I still wasn't feeling well. Every day I was like not feeling well. Like the tooth situation was just really a bad situation. So I was trying to eat like soft things. I really couldn't chew very much. So husband made this crock pot pie. It's like a deconstructed pot pie, so it doesn't have the crust on it, but it's all the pot pie ingredients in the crock pot. It was fucking delicious. So good. The next day was an awesome day. So we have near Pittsburgh, about an hour and a half away, is Wheeling, West Virginia. And it's Ogilby. And they have done this. I mean, we used to go to this when I was little. It's the Festival of Lights. And so when you saw the zoo lights that we did earlier, it's like that, but this like massive, I mean, just gigantic undertaking of it. And so this year when we went, we brought my parents because they haven't been since like I was a kid, and my dad was like grumpy driving. And he's like, I really like it when I don't have to be the one sitting in the traffic. We try to time it so that we go like on a weekday, and then we go as early as we can, like right after dark, so it's not as crowded. This one was, we had a little bit of a wait getting in, but once we were in, it really wasn't bad. And then every year when we go, first of all, we got there right before dark. So here's me holding Layla Grace. So cute. I have my little Christmas sweater. She had a Christmas sweater. She always comes with us. Like when we had Lucy, our old dog, before we had Layla, Lucy loved it. I mean, she would just like run back and forth in the back seat to like, the lights over here, the lights over here. So we brought Layla. The first like year, maybe 2 years that we brought Layla, she was just like slept through it, and now she really enjoys it. So as she's getting older, she's liking it more, but I just love this picture. But there is, at the Good Zoo, it's like a little zoo. The zoo is closed by the time you get there to see the lights, that they have these lights of all these different animals. And so every year I stand like the flamingo and pose like the flamingo. So this year, because my parents were there, they posed with me. And I just love this. And now it's making me sad to look at it. But I'm so glad that we did this. So that was a wonderful night. And then here I have some ephemera from the night. So this was like our program that we got. And then this is, if you go one time, like if you lived near Ogilby, once you go, you can use your pass for the whole season. So you could go again and again. Obviously, we're not gonna drive an hour and a half to see it more than once a year. But so this is the pass that you hang on your window so they know that you've paid, so you can go through. And then we got a picture of the five of us, including Layla. I don't know if you can see her. She's so dark in this. Or we got a picture of us with some of the lights in the background. That's like the Santa and his reindeer. It's hard to tell, but I just love, that's so cute. And then Layla sat in the back seat with my parents between them, and they were like so happy. She had such a good time. So it just turned out really, really nice. One thing about the pandemic is like, I always collect ephemera. So like if we go to a restaurant or a winery or a museum or whatever, I always try to like, is there a menu that I can take home? Or, you know, if it's like a paper menu, I'll ask like, can I have a menu? Or like a business card or something like that to put in my scrapbooks. And like in the pandemic, a lot of that has gone away. Like a lot of places do digital menus all the time now, so you don't have that, and it bums me out. So I was so happy we got a program here that I could put in, and then the little car tag as well. The next day was kind of a mess. I was supposed to be off that day. I ended up having to pick up a shift, and I was like bummed about it. But we wanted to go see, this is the tree down at the Point, which is where the three rivers converge in Pittsburgh. We have three rivers. We have the Allegheny and the Monongahela, and they come together to form the Ohio at the Point. And they have this beautiful tree. This is where our fountain, we have a fountain at the Point, and they always put the tree, they used to put it on the fountain, now they put it like next to it. And they were saying, because it doesn't fit with the historic, it's a historic Fort Pitt, is at the Point here. This was the Fort Pitt whenever, during the Revolution or whatever fucking war it was. So they said it doesn't fit with the historic themes. This is gonna be the last year for the tree. So we were like, we have to go down and see it. And then they ended up doing a petition because people were like, no, we love this tree. This tree brings us joy. So they're gonna work on like a more integrated with the theme kind of situation. So they are gonna have it again. But we went down to see it. We always go and see that every year. Here's a picture of just the tree. This one is like, I don't know if you can see if the lighting is right, but you can see us over here. And then here's the tree. And then Layla had her little Christmas dress on. Husband held her up with the tree. And there's her little face with the tree. And then we put her on one of the benches with the city behind her. So this was the day before Christmas, the 23rd. Had a beautiful, beautiful sunrise. I got up, I have a picture of me working on my December daily. I didn't actually work on it in real time as much as I would have liked to do, just because the month was like kind of crazy. But I did work on it that morning, so I have a picture of me with my candles and my coffee. And then, so the hilarious, like, this is like peak 2020. So this is just a screenshot, again, from my Instagram stories. I had ordered a couple items. My mom loves the movie Elf, so I got her a custom Elf pillowcase, and I needed to order the pillows, and I ordered both from Amazon. And so this was the series of updates that I got from Amazon. A carrier delay has occurred. Package is undeliverable. Returning to seller. But it arrived at a carrier facility. Well, now it's delayed and will be attempted on the next business day. And then they delayed it again to be attempted on the next business day. And so I ended up never getting it because actually returning to seller is what really happened. I don't know why I got the several updates after that said it would be delayed and reissued. So scrambled to get the pillows that I needed for the pillowcase that I bought. So I have the on the naughty list here. So that was pretty funny. And then the other thing that was funny was my dad loved, I would make these homemade radishes with brown butter and truffle salt. And my dad loved them. And I was like, we like cooked our own Christmas dinner. So I was like, I have to make them for my dad. So I did a Whole Foods delivery in the morning for 4 bunches of radishes. So went to work, came home, and I was like, I'm gonna get those radishes chopped so they're ready to go for tomorrow. Opened the fridge and I'm like, babe, where are the radishes? And he's like, they're in that bag. And I was like, what bag? And he's like, there's a bag in the fridge. It came delivery earlier today because he was working from home and he picked it up. They sent me 4 bags of beets instead of 4 bags of radishes. And I was like, this is a peak 2020 day that we're having today. So thankfully I love beets and I ended up using them for other stuff, but had to go and get radishes on Christmas Eve. And here is Christmas Eve. So in my family, we celebrate Christmas Eve. And that's when we do all our presents and we do our big dinner with the family and everything. And then Christmas Day is just like for relaxing and going for Chinese food. So this was the 24th. Christmas Eve was our big day. So here's Layla in her Christmas dress with all the presents under the tree. And then I just did some journaling. At the time, Peloton was offering Christmas rides with Christmas music. So I did one of those. Then we went over to my parents. We always stay over there. And so we made bacon wrapped chestnuts. It's like one of our favorite Christmas things to make. So we made those. I have a picture of all the presents on the chair. Here's Layla with the tree. And then this is our dinner. We got some takeout from the Carlton restaurant, which has since closed, sadly. We got a lot of takeout from them during the pandemic last year. But it was like this wonderful, wonderful dinner. So we had a really nice night. And then here's us opening presents. So one of my dad's presents was this hat, and I was like, okay, let me pose for a picture. Let me take a picture. And he made this silly face. And then this is my mom with the elf pillow that I was talking about. She was so excited because that's her favorite movie. Husband got a new Christmas hat. I got this wonderful book. Oh, I just love it. My parents got it for me. It's called The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. It is so freaking good. Go look at it. It's just, you're gonna cry. Just prepare yourself. And my dad wrote like a couple notes in the pages for me, and but I just chose this ephemera here. Find joy in the little things and hope in unexpected places. I just thought that was nice. And then we had a little Zoom call with our family that we would have normally seen on Christmas. So there's my grandma. And then my Aunt Val is in this picture, but I don't know why. She must have stepped away the time I took the screenshot. But there's Grandma, her selfie face, and there's a picture. Oh, that's why. She went downstairs to take this picture of Grandma using the iPad. So we were on the Zoom call together. And then this is my mom's cat, Frosty, and she was like a little Christmas star with the bow there. And then this is Layla Grace after too many presents. She just got really tired, so she's sleeping on my dad in her little Christmas dress and put a little bow on her head. So perfect. And then we had a white Christmas on Christmas Day. So my dad always feeds the birds, and they have this beautiful backyard. And so I just love the way the color popped on this. The snow, I don't remember, we got like 5 or 6 inches, I think. And so the cardinals were all just perched in the tree waiting for their turn to have food at the feeder. And I just thought the way the red popped on that was just so beautiful. So I did the all is bright sticker here. And then we had mimosas and looked out the window at the snow. And then my dad was trying to his dad used to make this famous fudge recipe. So my dad was trying to remake it. So it ended up not turning out perfect, but it was really tasty. It was just like more like chocolate sauce and less like fudge. And then my mom and I made Christmas cookies, sugar cookies, and we iced them. And then this is just a picture of their front yard with the snow. This tree is called Fat Albert, is the brand of tree. And when my mom got it, it was like 2 feet tall. And now it is like gigantic. It's like a real tree in their yard. So I thought that looked really pretty with the white snow everywhere. And then my dad has always done my rebates. You know, like when you buy a pack of batteries and it's like, send this rebate in and you get $2 back. He would always do those. He'd be like, buy this thing and then give me the receipt and I'll do your paperwork. So I had bought some batteries, and so he did my rebates, but he had to get like a magnifying glass and a light and a flashlight. But there he is doing, and I just took this picture because like he always did my rebates, and I don't know, I was just like, oh, that's so cute, and I'm so glad because it's just one of those little moments of life that mean so much that you just take for granted because it's just something that always happens. I mean, he'd done them for me since I was a teenager buying stuff, and like I'm just so glad I got that picture of him just captured at that one moment. And then on Christmas Day, husband and I always get Thai food or Chinese food for dinner. So we always come back to our house. Usually on Christmas Day, we'll go spend time with his family, but we didn't go over there because we were just distancing from them. We weren't distancing from my family because once my dad got diagnosed with cancer in August, we were like, okay, the four of us are gonna be a pod that spend time together because we're not risking that. Normally we'll go to husband's parents' house and spend time with the family there during the day, and then we come back to our house in the evening, and we always go out for Thai food or Chinese food, and then we come home and watch Die Hard. But since we weren't going out anywhere, we got Thai food takeout from one of our favorite restaurants called Silk Elephant, and then we of course watched Die Hard. The next day I was back to work. I was really sleepy, so husband made me my favorite blueberry pancakes and bacon for dinner. I love whenever we have Brinner for dinner. It's like one of my favorite things. We watched a shitty Hallmark movie that I didn't like. It was one of the few that I didn't like, so I didn't put a record of that on there. So the next day, the 27th, I was off. That was Sunday. So I finished my power sheets that day. So we did most of the prep work on the 7th whenever I did that online seminar, but I finished them up that day. And then I did our wine inventory update. So we have, like I said, we use Seller Tracker, and so every so often I do it like at least once a year. I probably should do it quarterly. We go through and just make sure everything matches and every bottle is accounted for and there's nothing missing, and just update it. So we put the Steeler game on, and while we were listening to that and watching that, Layla and I worked, so she can see she's helping me with doing the inventory. And the Steelers won. The Steelers had a really good season until they didn't. So then the 28th, I was back to work. I was having a lot of mouth pain and jaw pain. So just kind of took it easy, got some takeout, and then watched Timeless Christmas, which is another Hallmark movie that was new this year. It was really good. And here's Layla sleeping on her dad while we were watching the movie. The next day, I went for a run. This is my only run that I did in the month of December. I'm a marathoner, and I do a lot of distance running, and I took the month of December just off completely from running because I was not in a good headspace with running. But this night I went out for a run, and it was beautiful and spooky, and there's deer. I just loved it. This picture of me journaling in the morning. Just little, like I said, the little small moments that seem so small but are so important. If anybody's seen The Crow, just one of my favorite movies of all time, and there's this line when Eric says, "Little things used to mean so much to Shelley. I always thought it was kind of trivial, but believe me, nothing is trivial." And I've always loved that line, and that's really how I feel. So these little moments of going for a night run, and I have a little lighted vest and my headlamp, and then seeing the deer and the moon, it's just so nice. My only run of December. The 30th was very exciting. The 30th was the day I got my first dose of vaccine. So, as I mentioned, I'm a pharmacist. I was going into clinics and nursing homes in January, and we were supposed to start our vaccine series when we went to our first clinic. However, there was a clinic that had scheduled a whole bunch of doses and weren't able to give all of them, so they had extra doses. So a lot of us were able to get our vaccines early before we went into the clinics, which was really nice because then I felt okay, I have protection when I'm actually going in and going into the nursing homes clinics. But it was just hilarious because trying to coordinate who had the shot from the clinic, who was bringing it to the store for the end of the night, who was going to be at the store to give the shot, just the coordination. So I just covered up everybody's names, obviously, for privacy purposes, but I just took screenshots of all of the text message chain when we were trying to sort out the logistics of okay, we have this dose, it expires at this time, can everybody get to this place and get them early? And it was just really exciting, and I don't know. I was not expecting it until January when I started doing the clinics, and to get it this early was like, so exciting. I even got my little card. So here's a picture of me. I went home and worked out afterwards, and here's me with my Band-Aid that I got my vaccine. It was like the most exciting. So I said, best day ever. Best news ever. And there's Miss Layla Grace having a little nap with her teethies out. So then the 31st. New Year's Eve is my favorite. Okay, I have 3 favorite days of the year. New Year's Eve, October 1st, and now September 1st. Those are my 3 favorite days of the year. And so I just love New Year's Eve. Like, we always go all out, go downtown, have like a really nice dinner. We go to first night every year. We stay for the fireworks. We just go like bar hopping, and then we'd always make my dad come pick us up. We just always make a special night out of it. And I get excited, and we talk about like, what are your goals for the year when we're out at dinner? Like, it's just one of those like magic nights every year. And so obviously things were a little different. So I used the Embrace the Mess card here. And then this is my little squirrel buddy. His name's Clarence. I have a squirrel feeder outside of my office window, and he was like chowing down with his little hand. Look how cute. Here's Layla Grace on the steps with some of our decorations. We did a very different type of 31st this year, but it was still so nice. Like, it was just, I don't know, just still exciting. Like, the start of the new year is just always so exciting. So we did a takeout. So I have the menus in here. This is what I mean about I love ephemera. So this is the other kind. This is, I think, the last one I haven't talked about. It's a 6x8, but it's 3x8, 2 3x8 sleeves in here. I don't use these ones this often, but when I do, it's often this. It's like a menu or something like that, so that's what I have here. So we got 2 different things. This is from a restaurant downtown that we love called Emerson's, and they had a charcuterie board and then these little light bites. So it was like mini tarts and little meatballs and then crab cakes. And so we got this, and we had this for lunch. This is the board after I assembled it with all the stuff that they sent us. And then it came with a bottle of Prosecco. And then at night, it also came with the ingredients to make this cocktail. So we saved this for night. So we had this one at night. And then we got our dinner was from the Carlton again. I guess when we did Christmas, we got just the ingredients. We just got like their lobster and their steak. But we made everything on our own. No, did we? We must have gotten some. I think on Christmas, yeah. On Christmas, we did like half and half. We got made some of it ourselves and then did some of it from the Carlton. And for New Year's, they had this like prefix menu, and it's what they would do is called take and heat. So it would be like prepared, and then it would give you instructions like heated at 350 degrees for this long, and so you'd put it in the oven. So it wasn't like, I think sometimes when you order takeout, it comes to you soggy. It wasn't like that. It was really nice. So this is the menu from that, and then we got these cocktails to go called the Feliz Navidad, that's what that is. And then here's the plate. So we had I got all these cute little napkins and like hats and stuff, and just, I don't know, tried to make it special because we had to be home. So all the food was really, really good. And then we all wore our little outfits here. So we have our 2021 glasses and hats, and even Layla Grace got dressed up. And then we get a CSA, and which is like a farm share box, so you get vegetables and produce and everything. And my dad loves kohlrabi, and we got this like comically large kohlrabi, and this is like one of my favorite pictures of my dad. His hair was like just growing back in after his chemo, and he was so excited to get this kohlrabi, and it was so good. And so we actually got the knife stuck in it temporarily, and then we fixed it and had slices of it, but he was so excited, and I just love this picture of him. So and there's Layla, and there's our hats, and then our final page is Farewell 2020. Whatever happened over the past year, be thankful for where it brought you. It's where you were meant to be. And I just love this. This was like, we actually set the timer. Whenever we set the timer, it was a 10-second timer, and then when they started the 10-second countdown to the new year, I set the timer on the camera. So this was actually taken at the stroke of midnight. We have Layla, he's holding Layla here. Just, I don't know. I just love this picture. Dad looks like not thrilled. But I don't know. I'm so glad we had so many memories with them throughout the month, I look back on this. I would have looked back on this like fondly anyway, but just like knowing that I took the time to take pictures of these moments, like him cooking, and I don't know. that's very special. And I took a lot of video too while I was doing the documentation as well, and so I'm super happy with it. So this is what your December daily could look like. There's a lot of good videos out there. I definitely recommend, if you like to scrapbook, if you like to memory keep in any way, it's so fun. It really does encourage you to look at the everyday moments and look beyond just like, we went on a trip and this trip was amazing. Like, typically when I would scrapbook, that's what I would do. I would scrapbook like our vacation, or I guess mostly just vacations. I used to scrapbook in high school a little bit more, but like I scrapbooked my senior year in high school, you know, and so more it was just like a special trip or a special occasion. But what I love about Allie Edwards kits, and especially December Daily, it encourages you to be present and to really enjoy the memories that are happening every day, and like try to, you know, you have a bad day and be like, well, what was something that I could talk about today that was good? And you know, encourage you to do that kind of stuff. And then talk about openly like what was bad, because it's good to talk about both things. So I had so much fun doing this. I did stress myself out a little bit doing this because I wanted to make sure it was perfect. And like, you know, I added these embellishments. I put all the days for everything, but like the hearts here, the stars, some of the leaves are like chipboard hearts there, and then these corkboard stars, like that kind of stuff. I mean, you can go back and you can just constantly add to it. You know, you can always, like I could go through right now and be like, oh, let me add more things, you know, and you have to get to a point where you're like, okay, that's enough. It's perfect as it is. Move on with your life, you know? But I just had so much fun, and I would like take it over to my parents' house when I was visiting, and I'd work on it while I was hanging out with my mom. Like, I don't know. I think, you know, my December daily is going to look very different this year because Dad's gone, but, you know, it's still going to be, it's just so nice to look back on this and remember this stuff. Like, I have so many, you know, little moments captured. Like, I love this picture of us taking a selfie. Like, it's just, I don't know. This kind of stuff makes me happy. So anyway, if anybody has any questions, I am not a super expert on this, but please leave me a comment and I will try to answer them if I can. Again, these go on sale. The kits go on sale Thursday the 9th, September 9th, and it's at 10 a.m. So what I recommend, because they will sell out. So like if you think that you want to do December daily, I would really recommend set your alarm. Like I have mine set for 9:58, so that gives me like a minute to be like, oh, that's right, I have to do this thing, and then to stare at my phone until it becomes 10 a.m. and then click on the link and then go. Probably if you go to Allie's website today, I think she's doing some kickoff things like every day leading up to it. If you're on her Instagram page, you can see some previews of what the kit's going to be. But I mean, having used her products for 2 years now, like I can say whatever it is, it's going to be good. Like the quality is excellent. You know, there's lots to work with. I mean, I still have so much stuff left for this year that I can use like extras if I need to. You get more than enough, you know, moving pieces that you could use, and cards and everything. Still have a lot of journal cards left. So I really recommend it if you are interested in memory keeping or scrapbooking at all. And it doesn't have to be, you know, you don't have to do 6 pictures a day. You could just have one day where it's just like, this one moment was really nice. You know, there's no pressure to do tons and tons of pictures. I actually, another note too, is I use an Epson PM400 photo printer at my house. You can also like get them printed at the pharmacy, or you can use something like Snapfish. The only thing with Snapfish is that you have to send away for them, and they used to be really reliable about fast turnaround times, but since the pandemic that has slowed down, they do have like delays about shipping, and they're open about that. But if you can work on this every day, that might make it less of a massive undertaking task. So, you know, if you can get them printed every day. So I use that photo printer, and I think the quality turned out pretty nice for printing these at home. I think the quality on that is pretty good. So trying to think if there's anything else that you would want to know about with this. Yeah, I mean, you can use whatever kind of glue or tape. I use a tape runner, and I also use that sticky glue. This is what I use a lot, Aleene's tacky glue. We used when I was a kid and we would do crafts with my mom. Like, so this was like, oh, give me the stuff in the gold bottle. But this is really, except for that, with the exception of that one, that 15 that fell off, that was a cursed day. That's why. That was the day of the bad dental work, so that's why. But most of the time, I mean, they stay on pretty well with that. That's what I use for any of the like ephemera that I couldn't use tape on. So just having something like that, double-sided tape. A lot of people do their printing in Photoshop, so they'll do, I did all my lettering by hand. I just hand wrote stuff. A lot of people will do them in Photoshop, but you don't have to do that. You can do hand lettering. There's no, no reason not to. The journal cards are nice quality cardstock to write on. So I think that's everything that I could think of that you would have questions about. But if you think of anything else and you're curious, let me know in the comments and I will respond the best of my ability. And if I don't know the answer, I will try to point you in the direction of someone who does. But I highly recommend it. So if anybody else has a channel and you watch this channel and you want to share your December daily, I would love to see it. I love watching people's scrapbooking, memory keeping videos. So thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe if you're new here. I do publish at least 2 videos a week. I do a plan with me every week. I do a weekly vlog. Throughout the month, I also do my power sheets video and a couple other things. So yeah, thank you again so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough. I know it was a little bit long, but there was a lot to cover. And as always, everybody, please take care of yourselves and take care of each other. And I will see you in my next video.